The conspiracy of the cracked. The full journey. There's a ghost in the room with you right now. You can't see it, but you feel its presence in the tightness between your shoulders. In how you listen not to understand but to predict. In the exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. This ghost is the child you had to bury to survive. We've talked about masks, about performances, but this is different. This isn't a mask you put on. This is a skin you grew because the air was too toxic for anything tender to survive. They called it maturity. They said, "You're so grown up for your age," as if it were a compliment. But when a 7-year-old knows how to calm a fight between their parents, that's not maturity. That's survival. When a 10-year-old knows which groceries are on sale because money is tight, that's not responsibility. That's parentification. And here's what no one tells you. You don't leave that child behind when you grow up. You carry them in your nervous system, in your relationships, in the quiet terror that if you stop being useful, you'll stop being loved. I want you to think of a specific memory, not a traumatic one, a mundane one. The memory of coming home from school. Did you walk into chaos or silence? Did you scan the room immediately, reading the emotional weather? Did you know before anyone spoke whether it was a day to be invisible or a day to be the peacemaker? That skill, that hyper-alertness was your superpower, kept you safe. But superpowers come with kryptonite. Yours is this: you can't turn it off. The radar is always on. And you're exhausting a frequency meant for emergencies just to navigate ordinary Tuesday afternoons. In a healthy childhood, love is the currency of the house. It's in the air you breathe. You receive it simply for existing, for being a child. But in your house, love had to be earned. It was a transaction. If you made your mother laugh when she was sad, 1 love coin. If you kept your father's secrets, 2 love coins. If you pretended everything was fine when nothing was fine, 3 love coins. You became a little entrepreneur of emotional labor, and you were brilliant at it. You learned the exact exchange rate of your family's affection. But here's the devastating twist. You internalized the marketplace. You came to believe that all love works this way, that you are only lovable when you are in service, when you are solving, fixing, managing, absorbing. So you built an identity around this belief. You became the therapist friend who carries everyone's secrets but has no one to call at 2 a.m. The crisis manager who thrives in emergencies but panics in peace. The emotional sponge who can name everyone's feelings but goes numb when asked about their own. Ask yourself this brutal question. When was the last time someone took care of you without you having to ask? Without you having to guide them through it? Without you having to say, "Actually, what I need is..." For most of you, that question lands like a stone in your stomach, because the answer is never, or so long ago it feels like mythology. You don't know how to receive care because you were never taught the language. You only know how to give it, and giving care has become your only way of saying, "Please love me, please see me, please let me matter." This explains your relationship patterns. Why you're not attracted to whole, healthy, emotionally available people. They feel boring, suspicious. What's wrong with them? You wonder, why aren't they more needy? Because your template for love is rescue. Your heartbeat sinks to the rhythm of other people's emergencies. You meet someone with a broken wing, and something in you lights up. Finally, your nervous system whispers, "Someone I can fix. Someone who needs me." Feels like love, but it's actually familiarity. It's your childhood home wearing a new face, and the cycle begins. You meet someone drowning. You jump in to save them. They cling to you in gratitude. For a moment, you feel essential, purposeful, but slowly their weight pulls you under. You start drowning with them. You resent them for needing you. You resent yourself for needing to be needed. It's a closed loop. A trap with velvet walls. It feels like intimacy, but it's actually codependency wearing a mask of compassion. The hardest truth to swallow is this: you don't trust love that doesn't need saving. Stable, gentle, consistent affection feels unearned, suspicious, like a calm sea before a storm you're sure is coming. So you create storms. You pick fights. You withdraw. You test. Because chaos is your native language. Peace feels like a foreign country where you don't know the customs. Now we reach the dangerous crossroads. The moment of truth where most people get lost. When you first learn about parentification, about emotional neglect, about your trauma, there's a rush of validation. This explains everything, and it does. For about 6 months, it's liberating. But then something subtle happens. For about 80% of people, this knowledge slowly morphs from a key into a new cage. This is the 80% trap. The shift from being a victim to adopting victimization as an identity. Let me be painfully clear about the difference. A victim is someone who was hurt, who suffered real injury. If you were parentified, you were a victim. That pain is valid. That wound is real. Victimization is a lifestyle choice. It's using your past as a permanent get-out-of-jail-free card for your present behavior. It's the unspoken belief that because you were hurt, you are now exempt from growth, from accountability, from change. How do you know if you've crossed the line? Ask yourself, do you spend more time talking about what was done to you 20 years ago than what you're doing for yourself today? Do you use "because of my childhood" to justify being cruel to your partner? Passive at work? A martyr in your friendships? Do you feel a strange pride in being unfixable? A secret superiority in your suffering? If you answered yes, you're not healing. You're collecting evidence, building a museum of your pain and charging admission in the currency of pity. And here's the cruelest part. You're still in the economy of earned love. You've just changed the currency. Instead of trading your competence for affection, you're trading your damage. Instead of, "I'll fix your problems, please love me," it's, "I'll show you my wounds, please love me." But pity isn't love. It's just another transaction. And you're still the little entrepreneur, hawking your pain in the marketplace of attention. Listen to me closely. If your trauma has become your main conversation topic, your social media identity, your excuse not to grow, you're not freeing yourself from it. You've become its curator, and you're collecting a salary in attention coins that will never fill the void you're trying to fill. There's an imposter living in your body. It's the 8-year-old who had to become an adult, and they're terrified of being fired. This inner child wasn't just wounded, they were promoted. They went from scared kid to CEO of your survival. And they've been running the show with brutal efficiency ever since. Their management style? Hypervigilance department. Always scanning for danger. People-pleasing division. Constant calibration of others' moods. Crisis management. Only feels alive when fixing emergencies. This child CEO believes with every fiber of their being that if they ever step down, the whole company will collapse. That if you stop being strong, you'll die. So when you try to rest, they sound the alarm. Danger. Inactivity detected. When you try to set a boundary, they panic. Warning. Risk of abandonment. When someone offers you care without strings, they suspect a trap. Alert. Unearned affection. Probably a trick. This isn't your intuition. This is a traumatized child running an adult's life. And the hardest part? You love this child. You owe them your life. They saved you, but saving you and leading you are two different jobs. And they're spectacularly unqualified for the second one. It's time for a gentle corporate takeover, not a firing. Promotion to a new position. Healing this isn't about positive thinking. It's about ritual, about 2 specific fires you must walk through. Fire 1, sacred anger. I want you to try something. Say this out loud. My parents did the best they could. Notice what happens in your body. For most of you, there's a contraction, tightening in the throat, a voice that whispers, "But what about my best? What about the childhood I deserved?" Now try this. What happened to me was wrong. It hurt, and I have a right to be angry about it. Feel the difference? One sentence minimizes your pain. The other validates it. This anger isn't hatred. It's not revenge. It's truth-telling. It's the boundary your 8-year-old self couldn't draw in the living room when the adults were falling apart. That child couldn't say, "This is too much for me," so they swallowed it. and you've been swallowing it ever since. This anger is that swallowed truth, finally rising. Let it rise. Don't spiritualize it away. Don't call it unforgiveness. Call it what it is, the sound of your integrity waking up. Fire 2, mourning what never was. You must grieve specifically, precisely, for the child you never got to be. Not in a vague, sentimental way. In concrete, ritualistic detail. That child who played without looking at the clock, cried without immediately apologizing, got angry without fearing abandonment, asked for help without feeling like a burden, took up space without auditing their worth. That child didn't disappear. They were sacrificed at the altar of survival. They died so you could live. They deserve a real funeral, not a passing thought, a ceremony. Write the letter, light the candle, speak their name. Say, I see what you gave up. I honor your sacrifice. And I'm so sorry it was necessary. Bury the fantasy of the past that could have been, so you can stop trying to build it with every broken person in your present. Your body believes at a cellular level that resting is dangerous, that being unproductive is a betrayal of your worth, that if you stop, the whole world will collapse. So let's prove it wrong. I challenge you to the incompetence day. One day or even one afternoon where your only job is to solve nothing for no one. The rules: no unsolicited advice. When someone starts complaining, say, that sounds hard. Instead of, here's what you should do, say, I don't know, at least 3 times. Even when you do know, let something small go undone. Leave a dish in the sink. Don't make the bed. Let the email wait until tomorrow. Ask for help with something simple. Can you open this jar? Can you explain this to me? Spend 30 minutes doing something with no purpose. Stare out the window. Doodle. Sit in your car and listen to music. When the guilt comes, and it will, like a chemical fire in your veins, don't run. Don't fix it. Breathe into the burn. That guilt isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's proof you're breaking the programming. It's the old software screaming as you delete it. You're not being lazy. You're in rehabilitation. You're learning the most radical, subversive lesson of all. Your right to exist is not conditional on your productivity. For the first time, you're practicing how to be without having to do. You are not a broken adult. You are a masterpiece of survival. You navigated the unnavigable. You built a life from scraps. But the war is over. That child who kept watch in the shadows can finally stand down. Don't say goodbye to them. Give them a new job, protecting your peace with the same fierce loyalty they once used to protect everyone else. Let them be the guardian of your boundaries, the curator of your joy, the one who whispers, you've done enough today, instead of, you could always do more. Healing isn't about feeling good immediately. It's about starting to feel real. It's about trading the crushing weight of being a pillar for the profound, terrifying, beautiful freedom of being a whole person. Cracks and all, bad days and good, needs and all. You grew up too fast to save everyone else. Now, it's time to grow just enough with that same fierce heart to save yourself. You owe it to the child who survived. You owe it to the adult who's still fighting. You owe it to the person you're becoming. If right now you feel a knot in your throat, a hollow space in your chest whispering, This is my story, you are not alone. That resonance, that pinpoint ache, that's not a wound. It's a signal. It's the sound of the soldier inside you, finally ready to lower their weapon, to unlock the armor, to take their first clean breath. Because the battle you've been fighting your whole life is over. You are safe now. You are not your function. You are not your damage. You are not your usefulness. You are a person. And for the first time, that is more than enough.